Hi, everybody. My name is Sarah, Pearls of Wisdom and Food, mostly carnivore, except on Saturdays with the pizza, Sundays with the Brussels sprouts. The rest of the week, yep, I've done it. And so I know that some people probably are disappointed of, of me leaving that keto world, but it's still there. And it's so funny because the comments that I get, people do treat their vegetables like, oh, sometimes I feel like them and sometimes I don't. So when I don't, I don't. And when I do, I'll have a few asparagus spears, or I'll have some broccoli, or I'll have some mushrooms with my steak. You can do whatever you need to do, want to do, have have a hankering for in your program. It is your program after all, right? We don't need to be bullied into the corner. I was reading posts on Facebook of some carnivore tribe of women, and one woman, you're not carnivore, and it's like, okay, okay, been doing this since high school, have you? It's like, really, leave the individuals alone. I mean, it's like they're doing what they're doing. They'll get there if they get there to what you think she should be doing or he should be doing. And until then, just support and respect their choices. My goodness. Of course, I wasn't always this way, was I? But yeah, it's like I finally realized that, like, we all have our own drummer inside our head, and that's how we go about doing things. My question to you is today, have you ever stopped the madness of, like, summer? And I realized that yesterday when I was doing the video and I was talking about how Christmas, everything builds up to it. There's parties towards it and everything else. And then there's that big blowout of the day of eating all the junk and the leftovers, and how it kind of lasts the next 6 days because you're getting rid of all the little cans and tins and baggies and boxes of things. It's different in the summer because there's a chance every day for no reason at all to have a cookout, to have a picnic, to have a barbecue, to have a party, a family reunion, a reason to overeat and overeat the wrong things. It's not like it all must be done by July 25th. No, it's like, you need to understand that it could happen at any time. There's brunches and cookouts and late night things and ice creams after the theater and all kinds of things that, like, just don't take place in the winter. So there's a day every day that you can have something that isn't in your best interest. So my question is, have you ever stopped, like, mid-fall and grabbed onto that tree branch that pokes out of that range of rock, as you fall? Think of who's always doing that, the Roadrunner and all of that, and just grabbed on and said, whoa, let's just stop the madness. How many times do I have to say to myself, well, it is summer and it is a treat, and we don't go out with this couple too often, and they all want to go for ice cream, so I'll just go. How can you just say, no, I'm going to stop this insanity. I was doing so well in the spring. All my meals were cooked at home. All my meals were eaten at home. We weren't going out. We weren't, doing this party, that cookout, that barbecue, that reunion, that wedding. And it was much, much easier. Summer, to me, is the most difficult season. There's just way too many places that somebody can get tempted and fall and cave into it, and it's just not pretty. I guess there's no other way to say it. So you need to, like, think all of a sudden. It's like, whoa, pull in the reins. Let's just sit tight. Let's strap ourselves in. Let's learn to say no, comma, thank you. I've had enough this season, or I had quite a big weekend last weekend, or anything that you need to say that keeps you sane and abstinent and clean and not feeling insane and like you're losing your position. I mean, when you think of how hard it is after 40 or 50, much less 60 or 70, to lose a pound, I mean, really lose a pound and have it really go away, it's tough enough. But then to put on 5 or 6 in the summer because there's food in abundance everywhere, it's really hard. And I know that disheartening feeling when saying yes is much easier and then it just becomes a habit, and before you know it, you're having, 6 diet sodas again each week, and somebody made a blueberry tart and you promised you wouldn't eat the shortbread that it's sitting in with all the sugar it's been sitting in, and there you are having it and saying, I won't do this again, this was great, but I can't do this. Right? It's a lot of noise, and it's a lot of damage, and it's a lot of self-sabotage. And you're worth more. You're better than that. It's a lot easier to plan your abstinent meal and stay in your own lane. For the first few days, of course, if you've been tasting and partaking a little each day, which to me is the hardest thing to come out of, it's going to be tough. There's going to be some white knuckling. You might even be bitchy witchy. You might be cranky. You might not want to play. But if you do it, you will feel so much better. Catch yourself. It's not August 1st yet. You can have a nice, clean, abstinent August. You had fun in June. You had fun in July. But pulling it back in, is there something that you haven't tasted that, you feel you still need to have in order to go on in this world? I don't know. I was like that for years. Each promise I made to myself was hollow. It had holes in it. It wasn't true. And I was only making the promise to myself to get a grip, girly. But I still was letting myself down. And then, that free fall that I was talking about, once you let yourself down, it's just too easy to stay down and let it all happen, right? It's hard. For me, it would be hard to be in, 4 or 5 different places each week, like going for brunch with the gang, or going to a cookout, or going out to eat with people that you don't see unless it is the summer, or say they stayed in your house, they want to take you out, and the idea of having lamb chops and broccoli doesn't excite you. And so suddenly you're having something like a swordfish grilled with some sort of sweetened salsa with pineapple on top of it. And that sets off your brain into sweet. Ooh, ooh, that was sweet. Ooh, I want some more of that. That was good. Ooh, did you taste the cherries and pineapple in that salsa? Ooh, so good. And the point was the swordfish, right? You could have had it. You could have had them coat it with something or nothing except butter, and it would have been just as delightful, but you're not thinking that way because you've had a taste. Your brain's had a taste, your belly's had a taste, your tongue's had a taste, and it's really hard to stop. I am convinced that sugar is worse than cocaine because for so many people it's been this legal thing, no big deal. Most people wouldn't even know the sugar that is put into things like peanut butter. I'm waiting for a sweetened butter to come out because we've become so used to sweet in this country, and Canada, and maybe even England and Australia. We've gotten so used to sweet that it's our new normal, and it's just so dangerous, it's so hard. And so there's only one way to do it for me. There's no tapering off. It's just like the tapering in. Okay, I'll just have a bite. Okay, I'll just have one slice. Okay, I'll only have this one square thing with the graham cracker and all that this season. All right, we're getting towards the end of July. You can do it. You can say, okay, game over in August. If you have to have a food funeral, I know what those are like. You know what those are like, where you're going to have this and that and that and this and just get it all out of the way. Just blow it out. And then August 1st, which is it's a Thursday, then you pull it together and stop the madness. Maybe that's how you have to do it. I don't know. I mean, is there something you haven't had yet this season that, is pulling you? Get it over with if that's what you have to do. I'm not giving permission like Dr. W did at Christmas time that really irked me. But I'm telling you, if you have to get it out of your system, you have to get it out of your system. I know, because I've been there, and I I can't be around that kind of stuff. I have to think beef mostly, and eggs, and sometimes cheese, and my beloved coffee, and my Topo Chico water, and my Celtic salt crystals on my tongue a few times a day. I have to think of those things. Those are the things that keep me in my lane, keep me sane. I'm not gonna go down the drain. I'm just gonna keep rhyming until somebody says, Shh, just stop it. Okay, all right, I heard you. I heard you. And so do the best you can. If you need help coming out of your little bit of a binge every day mode, put it in the comments. Ask for people's help here on the YouTube channel. These people here are serious about how they eat because they've got the health issues they want to get rid of, or they've gotten rid of the health issues and they say, "Oh yeah, I can't play anymore. I've had my quota." That's what I kind of say. I've had my quota. There wouldn't be enough of something that I would go to for at a place in the summer that, could ever satisfy me. It would set up that constant craving that I must satisfy. And I don't want to ever be in that place again. It's a hell of its own. If any of you are in that little bite of something, little slice of something, okay, I'll just have one something. It's a horrible place to be. And it's going to take some withdrawal, some consequences of maybe weight gain. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard getting that sugar mostly out of your system, that craving. It's going to take a couple of weeks, there's just no easy way out of it. Is it harder than when you first began? Probably. Probably. Why? Because you have been good. And you have followed it, and you have seen relief, and you have seen non-scale victories and scale victories. And so it's kind of hard after you've done this to yourself with a willingness. It's like, oh yes, I'll have some of that. I'll ruin my momentum. You did it to yourself. Nobody, tied you down, opened your mouth, and made you have that, lick that, drink that. And so now it's big girl panties and big boy boxers. And I wish it was different, but it's not. So it's kind of hard to withdraw and give up and really make peace with it. Yes, there's a sentimentality to some of those summer favorites or even year-round favorites. It's tough. I didn't make it to 68 not indulging. No. So make peace with yourself. Make peace with your addiction. You got it. No going back to being that cucumber. That's why I call us pickles. Because once you've got this addiction, it's with you and you can maintain it. You can give into it and you can get strong from it. But it's up to you. It's your choice. And if it means taking yourself out of circulation in the social world of where everything surrounds you with sugar in it, it's the same for an alcoholic. Does every single cookout, party, wedding have to have booze? Yeah, it does. That's why we're here on a daily basis, brainwashing ourselves into knowing, no, we're not alone. Yes, other people struggle. Yes, you can read it below. Yes, you can understand it better. That's why we're here. That's the deal. We need to have our community surrounding us. And if it's just sugar and carbs alone, we need to be surrounded by like-minded people that are doing it, that have done it, that get up every day and make that commitment, ask for another day of clarity, of abstinence, of cleanness with their foods. And sometimes you need to do things that may seem drastic to somebody that doesn't give a hoot about their own body or health. And it's like, what do you mean you don't want to go out to lunch? And, I don't want to go out to lunch. I've done it 15 times this summer. There's nothing that can change. I'll overeat. I'll take a bite. I'll put up with your, the 20 questions that everybody asks me around the table, like I'm their pet project, while they all have their own extra 30, 40, 50, 75 pounds, right? I mean, we're all familiar with the person. We're all familiar with sitting in front of a nurse or a doctor or some sort of person in the health field that their weight is over over what it should be with no judgment. It's just, how dare you question what I eat, right? So grab yourself, grab that branch as you fall down, stop, put yourself in a safe, protected place. No is a full sentence if you have to use it. If you have to not go because the pushers are just too much, don't go. Life goes on without you. And trust me, we all totally respect each other for doing the hard part about saying no, staying out of the fray, going to these events and not partaking. We all have to do it at times. Is it easy? No. But we do it, and we do it with the support that we get here. For most of us, it is through YouTube and Facebook and online and listening to podcasts. That's our community because we're not getting it out there, right? We get our support here. So thank you so much for watching. This has been Sarah, Pearls of Wisdom and Food, with just some toughening up that maybe won't even start until August 1st. But if you have to wait and have your food funeral, get it over with. Make August 1st the new commitment. And starting on a Thursday, by the time you get to the party on Saturday or the cookout on Sunday, you've had a few days of saying, no, thank you. And so you know what it feels like, and you don't want to give up your momentum. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye for now.